Good morning and welcome to Swechotv, the leading online TV station across the country. Welcome again for the next time. Coming to you live is the hot seat from Swechotv. Remember to reach us through our all social media platforms at Swechotv, and of course you can reach us through the email at swechotv@gmail.com. Welcome. Now, in matters of leadership, a lot. Let's look at the information from the InfoTrack Research and Consulting, as it has officially released its latest Voice of the People poll. The comprehensive survey reveals major updates regarding the Kenyan's changing political landscape. So let's have a look at it in terms of the hierarchy, or rather, who is leading at what point and at which percentage. Let's begin with the current president, in terms of popularity in the presidential aspirant. Let's look at the current president of the Republic of Kenya. That's the Dr. William Samoei Ruto, who has just emerged as number one with 32%, followed closely by Kalonzo Musyoka, not really closely, but in terms of maybe the percentage, you would say that he was the second best. That's Kalonzo Musyoka with 13% and Edwin Sifuna 12%. And Edwin Sifuna is having a tie with Dr. Fred Matiang'i, who is also the former Interior CS, at 12%. Now, Kindiki emerges as the most preferred running mate with a pickup of 34% approval. Let's look at maybe in terms of region and see how are the numbers in terms of the entire region. Let's look at the northeastern region, where 59% is behind Dr. William Samoei Ruto. We talk of Rift Valley second at 46%. We look at Nyanza region at 40%, then Coast 30%. And Nairobi 19% and Western 35%. Let's look at maybe when we talk of Nyanza as a whole, Nyanza is always known to be the home of ODM, or rather the foundation of ODM. But when you look at the population now, 40% supporting the current president, Dr. William Samoei Ruto. This is because earlier on the ODM fraternity confirmed that they will be supporting Dr. William Samoei Ruto. Later we shall look into that, and perhaps this is what has contributed to this a higher percentage as compared to maybe previously. Coming to the preferred running mate for the broad-based government, Professor Kithure Kindiki, the current Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, still wins with the 34%, followed by the Governor Anne Waiguru at 14%. We also have Gladys Wanga, the Governor of Homa Bay County, the County of Potential, and the Chairperson of ODM is having 11%. When it comes to Oburu Oginga, that's the current Senator for Siaya County, is at number 4 with 5%. Then later, lastly, is Hassan Joho, who is the cabinet secretary in the current broad-based government, having 4%. Now let's look at maybe in terms of popular opposition presidential ticket and see. According to the InfoTrack, Kalonzo Musyoka and Edwin Sifuna, the current senator, or rather also one of the key leaders, the leader Mwananchi, have got a total of 23%. Then Kalonzo Musyoka again with the Fred Matiang'i have got 16%. Then the list is closed with the Fred Matiang'i and Kalonzo Musyoka. At that rate, we look at it as they score 15%. So again, that one brings a lot of maybe attention and confusion among the Linda Mwananchi and the entire team. You look at the UDA and the Linda Mwananchi and of course the DCP. We will see on who gets where and who deserves to be where. Now coming closely to this, we look at where they have got the opposition presidential flag bearer, we have Kalonzo Musyoka scoring 27%, Fred Matiang'i 26 closely, Dr. Fred Matiang'i with 26%, and Edwin Sifuna, the current senator of Nairobi County with 19%. Rigathi Gachagua scores 9%. This is so alarming, of course. That's also something that needs to be seen. And when you look at the Ruto campaign's platform, he works, or rather he campaigns on a work done. But again, oppositions also campaign on a Ruto like administration's gap. So when President William Samuel Ruto and the entire team, or rather the entire brigade, they come and they come and maybe communicate in terms of what has been done. But of course, the opposition campaigns according to maybe to the gaps that they have seen in the government. And the opposition also accuses Ruto of abuse of law. That has not happened maybe once or twice. It has been happening occasionally. They have been rather accusing the president of not working according to the rule of law, rather obeying the orders. And ODM party leader confirmed that they will be supporting the current president for the second term, Dr. William Samoei Ruto. And this again now confirms to us that maybe ODM is now officially maybe divided into two, because when you look at the Linda Mwananchi Brigade, they talk of maybe having their own candidate, or rather supporting someone else different from the current president, or rather the current government. Now let's look at what Oburu had to say when it comes to maybe supporting the government, and rather the chairperson of ODM who also later communicated. That's the Honorable Gladys Wanga, the governor of Homa Bay County. Now let's have a look at what the entire team had to say.
We already know that ODM this time around, we are not fielding a candidate. So we are going to support William Samoei Ruto for the second term. We must go there in a structured manner, negotiating and knowing what we are going to get as ODM.
A united country moving forward. Let us not bastardize the IEBC. Let us not make the IEBC a punching bag when we are disorganized in preparing for elections. Let us give the IEBC room, let us give the IEBC time to prepare adequately for the by-elections and for the 2027 elections accordingly.
As a church, I want to plead and appeal with you that don't fall into the trap of pushing and advancing ideas of leaders who only know about division. As a clergy, let not desecrate the platform in our churches to allow leaders who preach division, who preach hatred.
And now just to look at it, we've seen the peers of security interior telling us that of course Dr. Raymond Omolo confirming to us that churches shouldn't give an opportunity or other platform to those leaders who preach the gospel of maybe hatred and political division. Each and every time people need to come together like united. Honorable Gladys Wanga, the chairperson of ODM, has also clarified that people shouldn't use, or other positions shouldn't use the IEBC as a punching bag, and therefore they need to maybe rehearse on their criteria that they are going to use, rather than blaming IEBC all the time. And you see, this is something that has been happening. We've seen this in Olkalua by-election that is just coming in 2 days' time, and we've seen this occasionally also in the previous general elections, whereby each and every time people have to talk maybe on these matters of maybe IEBC, or rather the entire electoral body maybe being biased, or rather having got an idea of maybe bridging the counting of votes as the previous government, or rather the entire team. This is something that has been the oppositions have been talking about this regularly. Now moving on, we want to look at maybe on something else, that the East African Legislative Assembly Member of Parliament Kanini Kega narrowly escaped an armed ambush on the night of July 13th, 2026, after the convoy was trailed and shot at its Nyandarua County. When you look at this is not the first attack we talk of. Maybe when it comes to leaders, we've seen several leaders being attacked, and so this is also something that bringing up another security concern, in as much as we would say that leaders have to be protected all the time. But again, this attack was somehow, let's look at maybe the information that maybe had come through this by the MP himself. You confirmed that the MP was driving toward Nyahururu after attending the final Democracy for Citizen Party, that the DCP campaign rally for candidate Sammy Douglas Kamau at the Olkalau, and this is something that the campaign has been that much tricky, because we have got the high turn up all the time. Every day the campaign, remember, has been even being done through the night. So it has been so alarming election that the entire country is also has been also worrying about it. So Kega and his driver abandoned their Toyota Land Cruiser and fled into the darkness on foot, taking refuge in a nearby private residence. The attackers heavily vandalized and damaged the empty vehicle. We shall be playing you that video live here, and maybe have a look at it and see what really happened. The lawmaker reportedly being trailed from Olkalau town by 3 vehicles with concealed number plates, masked gunmen who Kega alleges were armed police officers. And we've maybe seen that maybe in most occasions when we talk of maybe elections, most of the time, or rather in case of any protest, we've seen this number of things happening. Kanini, otherwise, we thank God that Kanini Kega survived uninjured and released a distressed video from his temporary hideout, confirming he was saved by the grace of God. And the Nyandarua County Commissioner has also confirmed and stated that while no official report had been formally made at station immediately after the incident, security teams in Olkalau have been directed to investigate the shooting. Let's just have a look at this video and later come and discuss about this, see what he had to say in that particular incident.
Turn left onto Gilgil, Nyahururu Road, A4, then turn left.
We have found the butt of a gun. They have used the gun and the butt broke. And further here, we have given the butt of the gun to the OCS Kasuku police station. And we also have a bullet, live bullet, that was used to target Kanini Kega.
You can see the attack. I've been chased by armed police officers. They pointed guns at me. We were only able to escape. You can see I'm being hosted by these children. Ruto, you are not going to kill us unless you kill all of us. But we are not going to relent. You wanted to kill me over 3 vehicles. You have even sprayed my vehicle. I am only alive by grace of God. But we are not going to relent on the fight. I want to tell Kenyans that I'm temporarily safe in this house.
Okay. We've seen, he has stated clearly that it was attacked, of course, by the live bullets, and again pointed the gun at him directly, and over 3 vehicles were after him. And he has confirmed to the public that in as much as he is safe, and he insisted that they are not going to relent. So according to him, he was attacked by, of course, by armed police officers. So we believe that there is the investigation that is going to be done, and at the end of it all, we will have all the information to everyone and see what exactly happened, or rather how did that happen to that extent, because at the end of everything, we say that security matters and everyone needs to be protected, especially the leaders. Just like any other common mwananchi, everyone security needs to be a guarantee. This is as I stated earlier, this is not maybe the first time you are having this occasion, but how I pray that maybe perhaps it would be the last. The security sectors needs to maybe do some adjustments to ensure that, in as much as we are in political seasons, everyone, all the leaders and all the voters, everyone in our entire country is very safe all the time, by ensuring that perhaps when a notification is given that a particular party is going to maybe have a rally in a certain county, then a security team arrives there earlier before the indicated day and time, to ensure that in case of any other differences, be it political or rather maybe as a result of different ideologies, then definitely people shouldn't have a physical confrontation, or rather nobody needs to be attacked. Through that, we shall have a peaceful country and a successful country. But as we still talk about this attack daily basis, because most of the scenarios across this week, we've seen people being attacked, perhaps be it goons. The goons have been maybe all over. This is something that needs to make a correction that will give us a positive country looking forward. Now, we have got an election in Olkalau constituency, and this is a season, or rather a region that has been a constituency that has given our country a very sleepless night. We have got a tight race, members from the UDA, DCP, like generally, everyone has been eyeing in that constituency. Now, the Olkalau constituency parliament by-election is scheduled to make place on Thursday, that's the July 16, 2026. It's just 2 days to that. We only have, not really today, 1 day to that. And when we look at this, it is organized by the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission. This is highly contested election, and this is just triggered by the unfortunate loss of the long-serving Member of Parliament, David Junguna Kariako. May his soul rest in eternal peace. Now, the IBC confirms that 73,480 eligible voters are registered to cast their ballots across the 144 polling stations this coming Thursday, of course, which will be open from 6 a.m. To 5 p.m. on election day. We will have to see, like, perhaps we expect a maximum security in that entire constituency. Of course, we've been seeing some ideas that perhaps we've seen some physical confrontations. We've seen people being awarded various things. But again, in as much as the election is only indicated for 1 day, if you confirm it is there from 6 a.m. to 5 p.m., unless there will be any communication made, or rather maybe on extension of time, then we will bring you the entire communication. But as it stands, we wish everyone the very best. When we look at maybe the UDA, the ruling party is fielding Samuel Mushina Nyaga. Of course, that's their preferred candidate, and a victory for UDA would signal that the government backed by figures like the Deputy President Kithure Kindiki, maintains firm control over the region. Remember, through that win, it will really like give the current Deputy President, Professor Kithure Kindiki, and maybe a much higher figure, showing that indeed he has got one of the maybe the largest numbers and the best. He remains the best preferred running mate across the country. And of course, the DCP, that's the Democratic for Citizens Party, Rigathi Gachagwa's party, is fielding Sammy Douglas Kamau Ng'otho Waweru. A DCP win would heavily comment Gachagwa's status as the dominant Mount Kenya political kingpin. Of course, in several occasions, he has been confirming this to us that he remains, or rather, he remains our firm kingpin, or rather the leader of the entire Mount Kenya. So through this election, it will also like give him like a higher chance and a very big figure that he indeed not just claims to be the kingpin of Mount Kenya region, but indeed he is. So let's in as much as this election is going to affect the two parties, that's the UDR and the DCP, it is a very tight race, and whoever wins will give will give another +1 view in the entire region. So Jubilee Party, despite calls from opposition unity, Wilson Kigwa is actively contesting for that seat. Remember, UDA DCP is like maybe having a physical battle when it comes to this, because whoever wins will have a higher number. But again, the opposition leaders have been talking of maybe like they should come together as a team and have one candidate from the presidential race to the gubernatorial, senatorial, members of county assembly. They need to have one best candidate in each and every constituency, in each and every wards, in each and every counties. But in this scenario, Jubilee has also decided to have their country, and they are out for it. Let's just maybe have a look at every, maybe according to the info track. Let's see maybe one of the campaign issues that is coming in terms of voters' intentions. So July 2026 poll by according to the view, of course, that's according to the vote of the people. The DCP's Sammy Ng'otho ahead, and of course project a higher number support against the UDA Samuel Mashina. But of course we've seen these people having got they have been giving much cash, and of course they have also been offering some supports. We've seen they are providing gas cylinders. They are providing mattresses. They have also been providing this most of the house items. And we look at this and say that perhaps if these things have to be issued out, then let's not have a scenario whereby we give these things only on a political seasons. If suppose it could have been happening on a daily basis, then you'd say kudos, we are happy for that. At least leaders we are having is helping each and everyone. They are reaching door to door, not during elections only. But again, these people are giving us like the much support that we really need as individuals. When we have got this guy, if suppose they decided to give maybe gas cylinders perhaps before elections and maybe during and maybe after, this is then we could be able to encounter for a consistent positive development that will ensure that as a constituency we are moving forward. But again, when these handouts are only given during political seasons, it's not giving us a positive vibe. It is not like it simply means that perhaps the leaders are only concerned with winning. After winning, their aim is maybe to work on a second term round, not in terms of having a development so that they're giving a second chance to lead, but just to say that I'm serving here as a second term, I'm serving here as a fourth term, and I'm privileged to serve as the fourth term, but not development. Instead, give us empowerment, give us development. Thank you so much. Let's have a look at what has been happening, or rather how these things have been carrying out as far as the leaders are concerned. Let's have a look at
eaten all the goodies that you have given them. But at the end of the day, they have told you their resolve is one term. And their member of parliament is none other than Sammy Douglas Kamau Wawere. We shall only leave the police station once the last vote has been counted. Because we cannot trust you, and we cannot trust the police. Any police that is not numbered, that is not registered, shall be named a goon.
Mkutano leo nikaamua tutakutana hapa ili wakati tunaongea maneno ya hospitali, tunaongea maneno ya kitu ambacho tunaona kwa macho.
We are hopeful that we have turned what was a very difficult tide back, and the people have heard the message.
Hata kama kwa police station nahitaji askari 100 tutaweka pale, kwa sababu tunajua kuna watu wanataka kuleta vuruku, ndio wa blame police na ku blame serikali.
Just to confirm, you've seen Sami Kamau claiming that perhaps that region is a one-term constituency, and therefore he must win. He must be announced the winner. He believes that at the end of it all, the DCP will bring it onto the table. And of course, the opponent from the UDA side is also stating clearly that he will win. He will win. And the Secretary of DCP also confirmed to us that they will not leave the polling station until the counting is done and the winner is officially announced. And looking into this, in as much as there have been political tensions in that particular constituency, at the end of the day we will have one winner. But again, before we have this winner, we would like to encourage that let's have a peaceful election. We elect today. The election is done in one day. We will have a winner. The winner will have his time to serve us. Let's not talk of physical confrontations. This has been confirmed by the CS Interior, that's Kipchumba Murkomen, who has stated clearly that they are going to ensure that they deployed enough security officers, and whoever will win, they must ensure that he has got an idea that there are people planning maybe to have got to bring the entire system maybe down by having got physical confrontations, and he assures us that the system is going to run, the election is going to be much peaceful, and is going to ensure that whoever comes in there to maybe to turn it into chaotic will be dealt with according to the law. This is something that every time when you look at the previous last weeks, it has been a high tensions whereby you look at it as just we had seen even the previous attacks that had been happening in that particular constituency, and say that elections is not maybe the end of our life. Okay, elections will be done in 5 years time, in maybe a year time in case of something happens, but again, our lives shouldn't necessarily fully depend on election. Election is just maybe having an individual, having the right individual in a place maybe to represent our needs, maybe to the parliament, but again, or rather to the Senate. But again, when we take it too personal, we end up maybe losing lives and property. Remember that when a life is lost, it can never be restored. Definitely, let's not have politics as the only solution, or rather the only survival. Now, in as much as these leaders are sure we would wish each and every individual or the entire aspirants the very best, and on that day we will be giving you who definitely shall have been announced as the winner. We've seen still matters of maybe insecurity insecurity has been like high, especially during these seasons. We had got people being attacked this particular week, this particular weekend. People have been attacked even yesterday. So let's as far as maybe the insecurity is concerned, we had got this attack of Kisumu. By then, and only one person lost life in that particular day. But to date, 2 individuals has been confirmed to lose life in that particular area. So this is something that again is also bringing some much concern, because you realize that in as much as we would wish to have everything done in our best capacity, at least we need to have stability and realize that I can't go beyond this. I can't go beyond this particular point, and therefore, when I reach to my maximum level best, then I need to narrow everything down and say, no, I'm not going toward this direction. Now, coming to Kisumu clash of goons, the Kisumu County Commissioner confirmed that 2 people dead. That's Ramadan Mabud confirmed that 2 people dead. One of the victims had been hired for a security assignment. That is something that like is so alarming. One of the individuals, that's Dixon Odiwuor, died after being stabbed during the violence. Imagine, it's so painful. Let's say, may his soul rest in eternal peace. That's so painful. Governor Honorable, that's Professor Anyang' Nyong'o, the governor of Kisumu County, has just confirmed and condemned with high level that political tension in that particular area. And I'll say that in that entire county, they shouldn't be having any political violence. Let Kisumu remain peaceful as it was before. And this is something that you also realize that there is a rising political tension. And when we look at this, Kisumu has been like the most eyed ODM home areas that we say that perhaps our ODM, the entire ODM brigade, has been confirming that that's where like we may call it a bedroom. That's where everything starts when it comes to ODM matters. So in such a particular area, when we have got political tensions, of course, it's going to affect a lot of things apart from life and properties. It also going to maybe give a different picture that shouldn't be expected as far as maybe voting is concerned. In this video that we are going to play to you, we are going to see what Joseph Asembo, that's the father to the deceased, had to confirm. Women Rep Ruth Odinga also communicated, and we will see that the entire team, county commissioner also vows to sustain crackdown on goons. This is something that goonism we've been communicating perhaps most of the times, and we can't guarantee that perhaps. By the time this thing, it has been even confirmed in most scenarios by the cabinet, by the Interior Cabinet Secretary, that these goons are being like paid, or rather are being sent by one of the and by mostly the eyed political leaders. So at least when there's a time that it was asked that please arrest these political leaders. Later on, we will come to look into that and see what he had to say when it comes to maybe people demanding that, apart from like stating every time that these people, they are known and rather they are commonly known and they are one of these political leaders, then they also, since nobody is above the law, not even the president, since nobody is above the law, then bring these people to book. Apart from telling us that they are organizing this, they are organizing that, bring these people to book so that at least we may see that as a country we are moving forward, such that perhaps when you see a politician is being arrested, or rather a political leader is being arrested from a particular party, like we are not considering any party, then the entire team, be it the ruling party or the opposition party, when anyone is accused of maybe hiring goons to maybe kill individuals or rather destroy properties, then these leaders are brought into book. They are arrested, taken to the court. Judgment is made. They suppose they are jailed. They serve their term as indicated by the law. But now, when it comes to maybe yearly or rather day in day out, we say that these people are being hired by political leaders, and no actual action is being taken. Then we say that perhaps as a country we are not moving forward, because we will continue to see these people. We will continue maybe to lose life. So this group of armed individuals had a physical confrontation, and 2 young men died from injuries sustained during the fight, including Dixon Ward that I've just communicated was fatally stabbed. You see, this is just a common mwananchi being stabbed. So when we are talking maybe of individual losing lives, you see that the individuals that are practicing this, or rather the members of parliament, or rather the leaders, the entire leaders of maybe who is hiring these goons, they don't lose their life, but we will have that perhaps these people, individuals that they are sent to the field, are the only people affected at all the time. This is something that we need to sit down as youth and ask ourselves. I'm 20 years, I'm 30 years, I'm 25 years old, or rather I'm 23 years old. Apart from politics, do my life really depends on politics? Then actually there's no employment for politics anywhere. So in as much as you'd also wish to support an individual, don't force each and everyone to support your party. But again, when you have got a different idea, do not maybe go to a different environment where people are going maybe to have their own discussion that doesn't favor your agenda. In Kisumu, this issue happened inside the church, so you can imagine how this thing, the entire situation was, because when you talk of church, we talk of a holy place, a sacred place, and therefore there are certain activities that generally is not expected to happen in those particular environment. In churches, there are things. It is a holy place, it is a sacred place, and therefore we are not going to have a particular discussions, especially political discussions inside the churches. And therefore, when these people went there for church service and rather fundraising, we never expected attack to happen. The county commission has also stated clearly that to them, this was just maybe a usual service. That's how they took it. And therefore, taking it like that, they had no idea perhaps something else could happen, and rather confrontations could occur, and people and goons could arrive and maybe interrupt the entire service. So this thing happened, but nobody was prepared for it, because they took it just as I told you earlier, that church is a different place. When it comes to any other business, it can't be operated in church apart from the normal services that is held in churches. Let's look at what the leaders had to say generally and see what necessarily had to happen and the expectation in general.
Yake akakuja akasema, Joseph, kaa na Mungu. Anamwambia mimi, mama iko mgonjwa, lakini sitaki kwenda kumwambia diso nudiwo na kisakofa.
Hii ndio mwanzo, hata siasa haijaanzisha, lakini wamefanya mavurugu zinaenda huku na huku. Tunapata mshiba wao wamebaki huko wakisherekea sherehe zao. Mwenye anaweza toa mchango wake wote atoe tu individual. Hatutaki mambo ya siasa kwa hii matanga.
Were it not for that intelligence, we would have known, because there was no prior communication as to the activities would take place in the church. We thought it was just a normal church service, but it turned out to be like a fundraising, and the other parties also brought in some people to protect them.
When a government watches a pattern repeat itself and still fails to deploy the security it commands to prevent the next attack, that is a deliberate abdication of duty, and Kenyans deserve to call it exactly what it is.
Political competition must never become a license to sponsor violence or recruit young people into criminal networks. Responsibility extends beyond those who wield weapons to those who provide resources, direction, or protection.
The governor has just confirmed clearly that we shouldn't have we shouldn't take political competition. It shouldn't be considered maybe to maybe bring a differentiation, or rather a fight between individuals, and therefore he really condemns whatever happened in Kisumu. But again, we've also seen the women rep also said that in as much as the government would see something happening, and it's not the first time or rather second time this thing is happening, then government needs to maybe take the legal actions as really required, because when something happened for the first time, second time, and rather it's a different thing, then she also encourages Dr. Ruth Burudinga. She also encourages that clearly individuals have to come out and state and say that let's call it in a way that we prefer, because this is not the first time this thing is happening in our own county. This is not even the second time, but now the government is silent. But again, the county commissioner stated clearly that in as much as there were like politicians in that particular field, it was just a normal service. They considered it as a normal service, and rather a normal fundraising. And therefore, just as we've stated, this is something that we can't come to a conclusion whereby now as a country we have to say that let's not say politicians that maybe that anywhere they go it must be politics, or rather the movement must be like of political nature, or rather of political value. These people, they are also like any other human being, and therefore whenever they are in a different environment, there are specific roles that they carry with them apart from political issues. And we can't just now as a nation now try to treat that. Perhaps when we see a politician in any of the areas, then we say that no, this person is a politician. Any activity that he or she carries must be like of political nature or political like gain. No, we concentrate on the environment and see that these people are coming here. What's their aim? What are they coming to do? We can't say that, you see, these people lost their life, but it was just a church service. But of course, individuals lost their life. It is a very painful story, and therefore, I will mention on a daily basis that politics comes and goes, just like generations. But again, you see, the earth remains, the country remains. We must find a way of maybe moving forward. But when you take political issues maybe at heart, then you are hired as an individual. You go there maybe to disrupt a certain event. Then you also have to perhaps look at yourself as an individual and say that no, apart from politics, what else am I able to do, or rather what are my capabilities? Identify your capabilities as an individual, then say that no, I'm capable of doing this, let me do this. So that whatever drags you into politics is just voting, and necessarily you don't vote due to politics, or rather due to maybe political maybe differences, or rather entirely due to your favorite political parties. Vote with an aim of the agendas of each and every of every aspirant. When you see that this aspirant have got its agenda, or rather his or her agenda is making sense to you, or rather favors you, then vote for that individual. But we don't have to take like a political like nature, like you don't have to take politics like as an individual concern. You stated clearly that no, things must happen according to you. Not really. That's not how things should operate. And therefore, as a country, we need to come together in as much as we would have several parties, we have to come together and get unified as a family. We speak one language, stand out there, in as much as we have got different political parties. But after elections, when election comes, let's just sell our different ideologies. That's the only thing we should bring on the table when we're coming to ARIWI. We come with the development. After we've elected you as a member of parliament, a member of county assembly, bring us development. Let a country move forward such that we avoid something like in constituency or rather in a particular county, you only survive in this party. When you are not in this party, then you don't belong to that particular county. In a certain country, you must be from a different region is when you be fit in that particular country. No, as a country, let's be a unified family and move forward as a team. Now, we've been having political tensions, of course, especially this year, and of course, in as much as we are having the general election next year, things are happening that perhaps people are losing life, we are losing life, we are destroying like properties, goods are everywhere. Then again, we talk of this and people believe that perhaps it's our daily leaders, or rather the current politicians who are like hiring goons to go and and disrupt a different rally. So we look at what maybe the Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen had to say, and he stated clearly. He gave a warning against political instigated violence, where he raised concerns over violent protests that resulted in police stations and courts being set on fire, vowing that the government would deal with the goons at their sponsors without fear, favor, and this is something that we've also been requesting, that despite of maybe stating clearly that that this is what we are going to have, or rather these are the people who are giving us who is giving us a bad picture as a country, who is ensuring that we are losing life on a daily basis. Let's not say that they are leaders, so if they are leaders we can't arrest them. Not really. Everyone needs to be if you're accountable for something, or rather if you are believed or rather accused of maybe doing something that's very legal, you need to be arrested under the legal action, or rather the law. You face the law entirely. Let's look at what he had to state clearly and see definitely as a country what really do we need to do as far as security is concerned.
And I have told the Inspector General of Police, regardless of any person's position and stature in society, kila moja mwenye anafanya mabaya lazima apelekewe hatua ya kisheria. Kuna watu wanasema wanasiasa washikwe, tutawashika tu, tukishafikia hawa kwa evidence tutawashika. Lakini mtu ya kwanza ya kushikwa ni mwenye alipatikana na mawe, alipatikana na panga, alipatikana kupika mwenzake. Watu 14 wameshikwa huko Kisumu, watu karibu 10 wameshikwa huko Nyahururu, na wote wamepelekwa kotini. Sasa huwezi laumu wizara kusema ati wizara haijafanya kitu. Sasa kotini ipambane na wale tumewashika na waweke ndani hata miaka 20, ndio wale wako nje wapate funzo kwamba huwezi tumia vibaya vijana, ama huwezi tumika vibaya kuleta vita.
The CS has stated clearly that 14 individuals has been arrested in Kisumu concerning what took place, and 10 arrested in Nyahururu, according to the attack that happened. Now he has stated clearly that of course he has communicated to the IG that actions need to be taken despite of maybe political differences, despite of maybe whoever you are, it doesn't matter whether you are a political leader or you are a common mwananchi. Actions must be taken, and they will arrest these politicians as like people have been requesting every day, every time, that please arrest these people. He has confirmed that these people will be arrested, but before they are arrested, they are going to arrest these individuals, the goons these individuals that are being found by weapons. If you are maybe found with stones, you are found with the arrows, you are found with maybe machetes, then the illegal the immediate action, or rather the immediate action, is going to be taken against you. Before they reach the politician, they have to begin from that point. As an individual, when you are attending the rally, what are you holding, or rather when you are found with something that is necessarily doesn't necessarily meet that particular environment, then definitely you are trying to bring chaos, and therefore the legal action starts with you as an individual. Then later on, to whoever sends you. This is the Hot Seat, coming to you live every Monday to Friday from 10 a.m. with me, DEDAN Jack ARIWI Ouma, aka KENYAN. Always remember to keep it live in Swechotv all the time. I'm bringing you this live coverage on matters of education, health, leadership, everything that happens on a daily basis. We have to discuss it here. Every 1 p.m. we're bringing you the live news, of course, and again at 3 p.m. every Monday to Friday we bring you the lounge with Monica Lewinsky every day. Remember to keep it in Swechotv. Swechotv, the best place to be. You can reach us through the number provided in your screen. You can text, you can send us messages, you can call. We invite every discussion, be it compliments. Thank you so much for keeping live in Swechotv. Have a good day.